Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today is a tutorial. Oh my gosh, it's been probably a year since I've done a tutorial, but this was inspired. I kept this. This is from the group Valentine's Day swap. Like, oh my gosh, so maybe 3 years, maybe probably 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. And this one is from Anna. And there's her handle, AMPIPERRYK I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's kind of like I don't know what these are called, TNs, junk journals. She's got the acetate spine, and then she had like a little dangle right here, some trim, the elastic around the side. Her spine is 3 inches, but the one I'm going to do is 2 inches because I didn't know how she was able to clasp this eyelet down. But hers on the inside, she has it like this, and then she had like a little pocket. I forgot what was on here, probably embellishments and stuff. So you can definitely get creative with the inside of this. And it is super, super cute, and I just absolutely loved this. And this is the one that I made. So by the time you guys see this, my friend Christina will have already gotten this. So it kind of turned out like a book when I made it because I ended up adding 2 little like pockets on the inside, like heavy duty pockets. So it's basically the same. The front is 5 by 8 and then the spine is 2 inches wide by 8. So I just did a fun polka dot, stitched all the edges. You will need a sewing machine for this tutorial for the sake of doing the acetate onto the paper. I don't know any tape that can withstand like opening like this as the spine being acetate and staying stuck to the paper because of the way it bends and stuff, as you can see right here, like a profile of it. So I would stitch it. You could hand stitch it if you don't have a sewing machine, or just, you know, sew it on there, but you could try it with tape. But again, I don't know how well that's going to stay on. I used a thin Dollar Tree, this is from Dollar Tree elastic. They do have some at Hobby Lobby, and I got some, but I had already made this book. So I made 2 little pockets, and it sticks a good amount. Like, I'm sharing some Hobby Lobby clearance scissors, and those are thick. And then on this side, I just did some handmade embellishments, so they can stick on the inside right there. So if you want to make this little book, keep watching. You are going to need 4 pieces of 5 by 8. So okay, so you're going to need your 2 5 by 8s. Again, pay attention to the orientation of, you know, your pattern paper. Like my hats were going up and down, so you're not going to want to cut it sideways. You could do 1 sheet of paper, but I think it would be a little bit flimsy. Maybe if this was 110-pound cardstock. And then also, if your paper is not double-sided, this is how I backed my pieces. So you can see right here, I did a floral and then the hat on the other side, and taped and glued them. Okay, so once you have all 4 pieces, you've picked out your pattern paper, and you know what you want to do, you can sew these so you don't forget, because sometimes you get ahead of yourself and you start gluing and taping these together and you forgot to stitch it, and that would suck. So if you're a sewer, sew them. Next, for the acetate, I already have it. You're going to cut a 2-inch by 8 inches piece of acetate. And like I said, in order to get this on here, it's going to be really hard with tape, because the tape, when you're trying to bend in this, the tape will more than likely peel up and pull this off of your paper. So stitching a thin line, I think, is the best way to go. So I have my piece of acetate, 2 by 8. And then for the inside pockets, these are the same exact size. For these pockets, I would use 110-pound cardstock because it's thicker, and these are heavy duty, and it's going to be easier to do that. You're going to need a 6 3/4 by 4 3/8. So you're going to need to cut 2 of these bad boys out. Label them the same exact thing for the pockets. Now you are going to get your bone folder and you're going to score these exactly where you need to. On the long side, you are going to score at 3/8 of an inch, 7/8 of an inch, 5 7/8, and 6 3/8. And then flip it, and on the short side, we're going to score at 3/8 and 7/8. Like so. So one top piece is not scored, the sides are scored, and the bottom part is scored. And out, baby. Out. So now you have your score lines. You're going to do that to both pieces. I'll do the next one off camera or not together. You're going to cut out the L shape, which is these little squares right here. Like so. And again on this side, it's going to be like a big Tetris piece you're going to cut out. So same piece, cut up. Ooh, my hands are shaky. So it's going to look like that, like a stepping stair. Okay, so it's going to look like this. And then you're just going to crease on those. Hold on all those crease marks, score marks. This piece right here, this one like measly little square, you're just gonna cut up once because you're gonna use that as like a flap. Okay, like so. And you're gonna want to use, I use Barely Arts glue, but for the sake of this video, like because hot glue is way faster, you're just going to fold everything in, and you can see right here that it's going to make a box. And that's how I did mine. So I'm just going to glue the bottom tab in real quick. And then a little bit in the corner. With Barely Arts, you're able to like, you know, move it around and make sure that you have your perfect square shape. This, I'm just doing it sloppy and fast. So you can see that box shape in that corner again. Okay, a little bit there. Okay, so now I have my box, like so. Now for these, you can leave them like a solid color and like embellish if you want, or you can do a photo mat like I did, and those are, let's cut those out right now. Again, you're gonna wanna cut two because you have two pockets, and those are 4 7/8 by 3 3/8. By 3 3/8. By 3 3/8. So again, you could just use that same piece, and then you got scraps. So these are your two photo mats. Right, I want to go ahead and stitch these now, so you don't forget. Okay, so before you start sewing your acetate and pieces together, you're gonna need a crocodile, or I know there's some of those setters that you could just use a pen and stuff. I don't have any of those, but if you do, great. You can either eyeball it to the center, or you can measure 4 inches in and 1 inch in. I'm just gonna eyeball it and hole punch it where I think it looks good. And it's as far as the punch will let you go, exactly 1 inch. So it kind of does the measuring for you. I'm just gonna, like I said, eyeball where the center was from top to bottom. And then you're gonna set your little eyelet in there and punch it. Like so. And for your pieces, you know, pretend mine are stitched. You're going to just re-stitch on that same line that you had, and I stitch on the, you could put it on the, like the paper on top of the acetate, but I like the look of the acetate on the top, and that's what I'm gonna do. So when you're sewing your acetate, your spine on or whatever, I would use little clips to kind of keep your acetate, because sometimes it could start, you know, going crooked and stuff. So definitely use clips or something to keep the acetate from kind of sliding around or getting too thick and making your spine really narrow. So once that's stitched, look, we already have, I mean, you could just leave it like this and do like thin pages if you want. Like this. Or you know, your pockets. So you can see the pockets go perfectly right here. Again, if you did your photo mats, glue those on, and like I said, don't forget to stitch them if that's what you plan on doing. Jiggity jaggedy. And my other pocket. Okay, but before you do your pockets, make sure your other sheets, your 5x8s, are glued on, and it covers, you know, this stitching right here and the back stitching of all your stuff. It'll go like this. So your piece will go glued on, or double-sided tape works great. I'm not going to do that for the sake of this video because look, it's just a solid ugly blue. So but this guy, I like to use a Barely Arts, because you can get your bone folder in at the bottom of your, you know, your pocket and kind of get it to really stick. But like I said, for the sake of this video, we are using hot glue and hoping it goes on straight. If you do this with your real project, you risk not putting it on straight and it being all, you know, messed up basically, because it dries so fast. So you got your pocket. You could use double-sided tape as well. I know everybody that makes like mini albums and stuff, that's what they're using. So 10 out of 10, do not recommend doing hot glue. But for the video, I'm gonna do it. Oh. See, like if you really did that in real life, you'd be gluing paper onto your acetate. Okay, so now you have your two little books, little pockets on there. And for this guy, if you have the really thin stuff from Dollar Tree like I did, I had to use a sequin that was bigger than this hole. So you'll have to do that as well, so that this thin stuff doesn't just, you know, you can knot it as many times as you want, but it's going to go through that hole. So I did a little butterfly sequin. So let me get some. Look how fun. The Hobby Lobby stuff was 99 cents, and you get all these pretty pinks. So this part, you're going to want to cut your string to about 11 inches, because you're going to stick it through your holes and knot it the best you can. If you're not good at getting knots to the edge, maybe I would do a little bit longer, so you can kind of roll the knot to the edge. Because if you do it too small and too tight, it's going to be curling your paper and stuff. So this one is just perfect at 11 inches with a knot on here. And if you were adding a sequin, you would just stick your sequin on first and then stick it through here, so that it doesn't come through like this and like this. And ta-da! Again, do you see what I'm talking about? If you use regular cardstock, that's why you need to do 2 pieces here or 2 pieces here. It makes it sturdier. And then the boxes, 110 would be better, just to, you know, give it more stability. So that is the cute little, I don't know what this is called, book TN box tutorial. Okay, if you have any questions, let me know, or any other ideas, and I will catch you guys on the next crafty video. Bye guys.